Alright, unschooled when life should be banned.
I hope this one's gonna be a normal field trip.
With a prince? No way!
Oh
Cruising on down
no!
Main Street, you're relaxed and feeling good. Next thing that you know.
Hey Dad, when are we gonna actually learn something? What do you mean? Every day we're learning. We're learning from the world, we're learning from nature, we're learning from the outside. Every time we go to a new place, we learn something new. Yes, even when we're sleeping in a tent and eating ramen and just sleeping in Airbnbs and some. Man, I just really want to learn how to spell. Welcome back to the light side of the internet. On the road. Do you know what's bad?
You see, whenever people think about how great it is to go on a road trip and travel on road and drive for longer hours, usually it's just a driver. I mean, you get what I'm saying? Like, other than the one who is driving the car, everyone else is literally annoyed. I feel like we all know why that happens, because driving is kind of actually fun, but other than that, what are you supposed to do? I mean, it is quite a boring activity, and I get why. You see,
When are we gonna actually learn something? What do you
exactly, we all get so bored sitting in a car. It's so boring. Traveling is literally the most pathetic waste of time ever. I mean, it is good that you get these views, but let us all be honest. Most of the time, we'll be driving in the cities and probably night, so we can't even see all these places. You know what I'm telling?
on the road? Do you know what's bad for kids? Van life. Yes, surprisingly stuffing 3 kids into a 15 by 6 foot camper van
Whoa.
and denying them stability, privacy, and social interaction with their peers is actually harmful for children. Who would have thought that? Because I didn't. I didn't think that. The thing is,
There is literally no privacy in Asia. This term is only for Americans. There will be never piracy in any other part of world other than America, because we just don't have that much big of houses. Literally, I mean, whenever I ever see the house of an American person, I just get so jealous, how big of their house is. And in city, we live in a literally one fourth of what they are living in. In cities, we are basically clamped into small houses. It is just how all the world operate, and I think America is also going through that phase where it is becoming harder to live in a big house alone, and more people are moving with their parents. And I feel like van life is just a thing to save money at this point, because you can't really afford any property.
for every cloudy day, there is always a silver lining. And the silver lining in all of this is that because of the very non-traditional way of living that these kids have to go through, the parents will always make sure that the kids get the proper education that they need. That doesn't seem like a good sign. This is from a channel called Wild Family Life, which follows a family of 6 with 3 kids through their van life travels. Wait, you say, a family of 6 with
What?
3 kids? Who's the third not a kid? Well, I'm
Yeah.
so glad that you asked. The 3 adults are
will
the
be a
mother,
pet,
the
right?
mother's boyfriend, and ex. Yes, I
What?
said ex husband.
Damn. Wait, how like as a man, how do you allow that? This is disgusting. Imagine being a kid and going through all of this. What is even this? Damn. How do you guys even live in there? This woman has probably too much of a freedom. Like it is not her fault, but it is basically his fault that he is allowing all this to happen. And how, as a man, you would, you know, stay with an engaged woman? Like, isn't that creepy for this guy? And how are you allowing all this? Like, this is just insane. Damn, man. Again, this is the only thing that can happen in the western part of a country.
Yes, I said ex-husband. Yeah. Should have watched that beforehand. It's not so much the unorthodox family dynamic that has me concerned. It's the fact that the mother literally calls her boyfriend a junkie I found on the streets of Portugal. When you randomly meet
What?
a homeless junkie on the streets of Portugal. 3 months later, he moves clean into your camper. Call me crazy, but I think I would rather call the clean into your
This place looks so disgusting, man. Do they even clean it?
Call me crazy, but I think I would rather call the father of my children stuff like Pookie and Honey Bunches and not a junkie I found off the streets of Portugal.
Whoa.
Anyways, now that we have the lore, how does this family handle the education of their 3 kids?
Hi, my name is Nadine. I'm a traveling mom of 3.
Wait, before we do that, okay? Here is the thing. Homeschooling should be for the rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is an expensive thing to do. You know, if you ever think of having a kid go through a homeschooling, make sure that you are at least rich and you can hire private tutor for him. Like, all of these things doesn't really work. You know what I'm saying? Like in Asia, how we do it is the kids go through a school, and then when they return from the school, they will have a like lunch and a breakfast and all of that stuff, and then they'll again go to the private tutor classes. And at night, they will probably do their homework and repeat the same thing again. Like the stuff like this doesn't really fly, you know. For poor, it is better to just go in a public school. I mean, at least you are learning something.
Kids, 1 baby, 2 older kids. How long are we going to do this? I don't know. Could be we end this tomorrow, next week, next year, and 10 years, until someone says, hey, I'm not up for this anymore. If somebody says, hey,
Who will hire those kids? Like, who will, like, what will that guy show in resume? Like, I went to the homeschool for like 7 years, and then I decided I want a job in a tech company. And what will they see in resume? Like, what will you submit to the universities? Like, how will a university select a kid that doesn't have a proper schooling? Like, it is not that they will be dumb or anything like that, but at least they will need some kind of proof. This is insane,
I don't feel
man.
like traveling at the moment. We do things like this. We rent an Airbnb.
They literally are ruining their kids' lives, you know. And like, I get it, they are happy they are traveling, but kids should grow up with other kids. You know what I'm saying? Even in a private school, there will be at least 20-30 other kids in their classes. How will they ever learn the experience?
At the moment, we're forced to wait, but that's another story.
I love this logic because she completely skips over the fact that not having at least a semi-permanent place to live could potentially be detrimental to a child's development. And it's just like, oh, if my kids don't want to travel, that's totally fine. I'll just book an Airbnb in a foreign country with no deeply rooted community, because having doors on the inside means we're not traveling. At least we have plumbing now. And yes, moving kids around a lot when they're growing up is objectively harmful to their development. There is even a specific study that says so. See? science, which is something you would have learned if you went to school, which we're
Yeah.
about to get into.
And the school thing, yeah, we follow some kind of curriculum.
I'm sorry, I don't think I trust you with your children's education if you refer to their
See,
education as
this is exactly
the
what I
school
said.
thing, or say we follow some kind of curriculum. Is that too harsh? Yeah, yeah, no, it isn't. We're all set for today's test? Yep, the reactor thingy is all prepped and ready to go. Ooh. What do you mean by reactor thingy? What do you mean by those words? I'm just saying the thing we do the thing in is ready. Don't say that. That makes me think you don't know this is a nuclear reactor. Okay, obviously I knew this was a nuclear reactor. Oh, don't worry about that. That's just the meltdown thingy.
Like, we have
I mean, who would even hire them? Like, it is probably better to let that thing blow up than hire somebody like that. You know what I'm saying?
my kids learning with, they set their times each day. They do that by themselves. There's nothing I have to do. They really take their devices by themselves, sit down and learn. Technically, I don't follow any curriculum, but through this app, the kids see that by themselves.
So what you're saying is your involvement in your kid's education is no. Your involvement
Yeah.
is neglect. Your involvement is D, none of the above. You can't just download an app and expect that to teach your kids. Are you really going to entrust your kids' education with tech bros? Okay, class, when you're here, you're gonna be ahead of the curve. You're gonna be a startup founder and use all the buzzwords. AI, blockchain, cryptocurrency. We're gonna have every single VC firm out there begging to give you money. You ready? Yeah. Okay, so chapter 1. How to be born rich. I think in theory this is great because the child actually gets to learn what they are interested in learning about. So this is all well and good, but have you ever considered the fact that kids are fucking stupid? When I was a kid, I wanted to be a fighter pilot. I am fucking blind. I have the vision of a naked mole rat. If you make me take a vision test, I will pass it on to the next
You know,
person.
it is not that. It is. I have read somewhere that in order to be a fighter pilot, like you have to be a specific height. You can't be taller or you can't be shorter than that, and it has to be like perfect height. Like you should have perfect length of an arms and perfect length of your legs, and it is a really hard thing. Majority of the people that go in there are like selected for like support crew or like the back end operation and information gathering and stuff like that. They are not really a fighter pilot. Like it is way harder to do. You can become a commercial pilot easily rather than that. Again, I have no experience, so take it as you like.
Because I will fail. Plus, there are some hard skills that children should be learning that they might not necessarily want to learn. Stuff like science, how to
Math.
read, how to write, how to do math. Do you think I
Yeah.
wanted to do math as a kid?
Nope.
No. Did my dad make me stand in front of a multiplication table in the 3rd grade until I
Yeah.
memorized it? Yes. Did it make me good at math? Next
Yes.
clip, please.
Of course it made you there. Whoa, what is that?
So a large portion of van life subscribes to the unschooling movement, which, contrary to what it sounds like, is not when you make a child go through preschool to college and then yeet a brick into their head at graduation. Unschooling is a movement where parents move away from the traditional homeschooling and public education classrooms. Theoretically, this involves a curriculum that pursues an education based on what the child is curious and interested in at the time. Just like how theoretically the Earth is round. The Earth is obviously rhomby, cozy, dodecahedron shaped. Okay? Unschooling is a very popular route of education for van life families because the unstructured method of education is a great match for their disconnected lifestyle.
Preschool starting at 4 years old, disconnect. Public school with jam-packed schedules until 18, grooming them for stress, disconnect. Now you're an adult, you're expected to move out, disconnect. Get a job, 9 to 5, minimum, to repeat the pattern of disconnect.
Having a consistent and
like I'm waiting for these kids to grow up, and like then they tell how was the experience and how well they are doing. Like I really want to see it, because I'm literally like, see, here is the thing. Whenever like 2 years ago I was like really interested in van life and all of that stuff, but I never thought you would actually live in it for like 24/7. Like you would just go for a like, you know, a vacation like 10 days, 12 days. You know, that is all. And you then go back to your home and continue your life. I can't imagine having kids in the van. Like that is disgusting, and I can't really grow up in a van life too. Like it would be so annoying. I was already complaining about how small the houses are in cities, and then you make it even smaller. Damn.
rooted community, disconnect. Having a professional construct and educate your kids, sports, disconnect. You're not caught crazy because of your lifestyle. I would love to live in a van and not have to care about anything. But the problem is that you have a lot of parents essentially taking their children against their will, going on van life, and neither of them seem to understand the consequences of that. And some of these things that these parents consider school is wild to me. It's wild schooling. That is literally what they call it, wild schooling.
Wild
Damn.
schooling because every day gets to be an adventure.
So, going on a f***ing hike? This is not school. Frolicking in a field in the sun is not school. It's fun, but it's not school. If you go into any job interview and your only ounce of knowledge is the chloroplast is the powerhouse of the plant, you're not getting that job. Yes, our current education system is deeply flawed. No one is arguing with that. But that doesn't mean you don't get an education, period.
What is it? Flowers! This morning for unschooling, we're going around and seeing all the different signs of spring and what that means.
This might have made you a super genius back in the caveman days.
Yep.
I'm not so sure it's gonna give you much clout these days.
Yeah, and here is the thing, you know, like you can do all of that stuff by staying in a home. Like all you have to do is go out on Saturdays and Sundays and it will be enough. You know what I'm telling? Like you have to be so unserious about like the things they are, you know, trying to sell you. Like it is just a thing to get views on social media. It is nothing more. There is no school involved and they are ruining the kids' life for that. That is all there is, I mean. Again, I'm not saying all of them do that. I don't even know the names of these guys. I don't follow this thing. It is just crazy, like how crazy everything is going on. It is awesome. I mean, it is crazy.
Yo, a green leaf. Dude.
Like these kids would get destroyed by a normal kid that go to school, and he would probably know way more things than they do. I can guarantee that, man.
Spring! It's December, you ass. And we live in Los Angeles.
So here's one of those things that is fun about unschooling and homeschooling is that some boards we're like, hey, look, I made a seesaw out of this. And then we can talk about clever systems and everything that goes with that.
Whoa,
Yes,
whose
this
car
can
is that?
be a great learning opportunity when added as a learning demonstration. However, this opportunity is kind of wasted when the parent doesn't know how to teach the applicable skills related to the demonstration. So what you're creating is a lever. Don't ask me how I know or how
All their parents know is how to drive and how to make TikToks. You know, like if that is what you are teaching, then you are doing a great job.
works or the science behind it. It is what it is. It's pretty clear here that the kid could care less about the actual science behind this and is just playing like a kid. When I was a kid, I used to build little cities and buildings for bugs I found. I definitely didn't learn any architecture or entomology from it, just like how watching YouTube isn't necessarily gonna make me turn into what I'm watching. Welcome back to the light side of the internet. Oh, hold on. Wait, what's happening? Okay, so clearly there are some van life parents out there that are in need of additional resources. I'm not saying that all van life families have a lack of proper education. There are plenty of channels out there that show parents running proper homeschooling curriculums for their kids. There are also parents, like we said before, that depend on an app to do that.
It's back to school time for a lot of families, which looks very different for us as a family who's adopted the philosophy of unschooling. Today, we're utilizing one of our favorite resources for learning and education, OutSchool.
OutSchool is one of the main resources that we use. Now, not only does OutSchool have a ton of academic classes, but they have thousands of other classes such as acting.
Wait, what is... Like, does she apply like gel to her hair every day? Like, how are they so perfect? I mean, she is straight out of a, anime bad character vibe. Not like bad character, but like a villain vibe from anime. She's that kind of a woman directly.
OutSchool have a ton of academic classes, but
all she needs is a bit of swords. Like one sword. Oh no, guns. Yeah, guns would do well. Those cyberpunk ladies with a gun. Yeah, that is her vibe.
they have thousands of other classes such as acting.
TJ has been wanting to learn how to code his own video games for a while now, and it's just not something I know how to do, and I could not teach him. Thankfully, there is OutSchool. OutSchool is an online platform that allows you to have access to a ton of different online classes.
OutSchool is a service that lets you teach kids on the road, attending classes that teach them what they want to learn. OutSchool allows kids to select lessons from teaching professionals. Does this sound like a sponsorship to you?
Yeah, it is.
Good, because that's what it sounded like to me too. All of these TikToks you just saw were either paid or affiliate posts sponsored by OutSchool. And while it may be a totally reasonable substitute for traditional curriculums, something is off when you base your kid's education on whoever pays you the most. Your children's education is not a commodity. It doesn't make sense to dole out your child's education to the highest bidder. Remember this skit? Again, do you really want tech bros in charge of your children's education? Didn't feel like homeschooling today. I could wear my Louis. So,
Damn.
but even with nothing.
If I even skipped one day of my school, it would be like crazy in my house, you know? Like my parents would be so annoyed, they would be so angry. Like it would just literally make them so mad, and here are these guys, man.
Bet I made you look. I made you look. I didn't.
I feel like we are really doomed. There is literally no future for us. I will literally dominate these kids. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine how will the Gen Z dominate any other. Like Gen Z will literally eat every other generation that comes after that.
That was so bad. I'm not gonna do another take. Are you tired? Is being on a permanent vacation dragging you down? Are you too exhausted to just give your kids the proper education? Well, don't you worry, because I have the perfect solution for you today. Just don't. Fuck 'em, kids. Wait, no, not like that. A common reason why these parents don't want to choose a traditional education is because that it's conformist and it puts kids into boxes through things like rules and socially accepted norms. Things we definitely don't have in real life.
Things our homeschooled 6-year-old will not be learning in first grade. 1, how to raise his hand to speak. 2, to ask permission to use the bathroom.
Learning to wait until it's your turn to speak is actually a really great skill to have, especially when you work on an actual team in an actual job. Real life is not a Discord chat filled with middle school. I said real life is not a Hey,
Wow.
can someone turn off the microphone? Guys, please turn your microphones off.
3. To hold a bubble in his mouth.
I don't know, man. I had severe ADHD. I would have told myself to shut the f up.
4. How to be constantly comparing himself to his peers and either making fun of those who are different than him, or how to tone down his personality and dull his uniqueness so that he himself doesn't get bullied. Basically, how to conform.
And this is the most common assumption that a lot of these parents have with traditional schools, that it dulls the
I am odd one, or either the odd one or the oddball here, but I have like a prediction, like these parents literally hated school. I mean, there is no reason to, like, why would you think of a bad things, you know, whenever you are going to, I mean, I hated school, okay, but it was probably better that I went there. You know what I'm saying? I made so many good friends and memories, and literally no adult actually hates school. Like, still they are, I mean, you can hate them, but it is like they give you so many awesome things that are impossible without them, you know, like the culture, the friend group, the bonding that you have with other people, the education. The least one is education, probably. Do you know what I'm saying? Critical thinking and how to actually talk to others, how to behave. Like, all of these things can be only be taught in a school and in an institution. You can't really teach anything to anyone unless you are extremely rich and you can hire private tutors, and you have the ability to send your kids into them, the richer circle and the elite circles. Then you don't really need anything. But other than that, it won't work out
But
well.
if you're privileged enough to go to a good enough school, which a lot of these parents are, I think it's actually the complete opposite of that. Kids don't find their personality in classrooms. They find their personalities in the extracurriculars, clubs, and social groups that they find
Yeah,
in school.
exactly.
Does a van have a fully fledged robotics lab that they can learn engineering and coding hands-on? Does a van have a football pitch or a track where they can find their true competitive edge? Does a van have a parking lot where you can play hooky with your friends and maybe find high school
Damn.
love? I mean, yes, they do, but it's not as fun when your parents are doing the loving.
No!
I think in a lot of ways, it's this abundance of opportunity and the fact that so many people have taken proper educations for granted in the West that has given rise to this. I was born into a first-generation immigrant family from China. Education was not only emphasized in my life, but it was put forward as the most important focus of my life. And while I may not have
Similar here,
appreciated
dude.
it at the time, the reason why it was pushed so hard throughout my childhood is because for my family, it was the only option. Gen X in China had way more problems than having to just drink hose water. If you didn't do well in school, your only option in life was to work in what we would call the nongcun, or the rural areas of China. And we're not talking about a massive farm. We're talking like subsistence farming and hard labor. Imagine your life was Minecraft, but all you did was plant wheat for 60 to 80 years. In fact, my
Damn.
family's pursuit of education is the only reason why they made it to the US in the first place. If my family didn't have its focus on it, there would be no ray like sunshine. There would just be red sun of sunshine. So I place a very high value on education. Maybe that's just how I was raised, and maybe I could be wrong about that. But I know that many of the people that I talk to today are also wrong about that, because there are people who did unschool their kids and now regret it.
Former radical unschoolers learned our lesson. It's not normal for neurotypical kids to not be reading by 2nd grade, but everyone in the radical unschooling community made us believe that this was normal. We have 3 kids with IEPs. We did a huge disservice to them.
Well, I think it's good and literally my job to find humor in everything. Not sure I would react the same way that she does to this. My house burned down.
Yeah, it is like a serious problem, you know. Like, you would have to fix them somehow, you know. You have to work with them.
I went on a 2-week vacation and left the stove on. I know I left the stove on, but I was too lazy to go back
What
and
is
turn it
this?
off. Also, I had no insurance. My family has nowhere to go. I might be dancing, but inside I am very emotionally distraught. So yeah, parents who don't take their kids' education seriously are seriously harming their kids. I would say we learned something, but I'm pretty sure we already knew that. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you're all enjoying your back to school festivities, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.
Get to school, boys. This was really good. Yeah. Support this guy, Ray like Sunshine. Damn, that is a nice name. Why didn't I have thought of it?